Okay, let me repeat everything I just said. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, other day I was having a conversation with my husband because he has a belief system that he he doesn't trust a lot of people, you know. And I know it comes from his mother is the same way. She thinks it's smart to have fears because fear is something that protects us, you know. So the conversation was something about like uh, uh, a person that I trust to take care of my kids and my husband doesn't trust. And and then it made me think. I said, yeah, it's true. It's not that I trust everybody to take care of my kids, you know, but but my husband, the way he was judging that this person not capable, if for me it was based on a bias. Okay, so like I'll say, okay, so for example, it's my brother, and my brother is gay and is married to another man, and I trust them to take care of my husband think, because men are not as good to take care of kids as women is, and I think it doesn't make any sense, you know, because I trust my brother, and I don't uh, judge people by their sex or the color of the skin, but I actually do not trust everybody to take care of my kids. So my question is like, obviously, you know, he changed a little bit after I said, for example, my father, when he was a kid, he had a woman as a nanny that molested him. And it was a woman, so it doesn't matter if he's a man or a woman or gay or whatever, you know. I think it, but my question to you is more about like, yeah, like should I trust everybody, but we do have feelings about, okay, this person I can trust, or this person I cannot trust, even though like we're all like in the light of God we're all love, let's say, you know. But how to put it, you know, this situation.
Yeah, well, I think a mother's instinct is pretty good. So yeah, you're meant to not judge anybody out there, as less than God's creation, right?
Hmm.
That being said, you have to go with your gut,
Right.
and you have to decide, do I feel like this person is trustable? Because you
Hmm.
know what, he or she is taking care of my kids.
Hmm.
So in the end, after all is said and done, you always have to do what brings you peace.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's not about judging that person as gay or straight or woman or man or not, none of that stuff. It's
Hmm.
about it's about going within, aligning with God, inviting. Sometimes when we're doubtful, you invite God in, you step back a little bit, you invite God in, and you have a little conversation with God. And you say, God, please guide me to the proper decision in regards to this person. Is this
Hmm.
person uh, responsible enough to take care of my children? And then you got to
Hmm.
feel inside of yourself what God says. And sometimes the answer is going to be no, and that's okay because
Hmm.
you're doing it from a place of peace.
Hmm.
That's the key. You're doing it from a place of peace, so you can
Hmm.
say no with peace, and you can say yes with peace. So no
Hmm.
matter what you
Okay.
say, you always have peace.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay.
And so just
Makes sense.
trust your gut, you know, and
Hmm.
uh, and then allow that to guide you.
Yes, a good answer.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hmm.
Right.
Hmm.
Any,
How,
any yeah.
oh,
Go ahead, Jennifer.
how is your brother when you're around him? Do you get to see him with the children super?
When my no, I am. I've seen many times my brother and his husband taking care of my kids, and they're wonderful, you know.
Mhm.
But my husband, most of the time when I'm with them, my husband's not present, so he doesn't witness much, you know, how. And so there was situations that I was working, my husband was working, and my brother offered to take care of the kids, and I was okay with that, but my husband kept withholding, and my brothers feels that it creates a situation, you know, in my family, and I do trust my brother. So that's the type of conversation we were having the other day, that, you know, and I was in Brazil working, and my husband was creating all kinds of problems to have the boy stay with my stepmother, which is here helping, and my brother and my brother-in-law. And I had to intervene and say, Seth, you have to put these fears away, because you know he overprotects the kids, and you say it's not good for everybody. So because you have to work and you want the kids to be all day watching TV, and you don't want, you know, them to play and, you know, take them to the playground. So anyway, so then finally he agreed after I validated, saying, no, it's okay. So, but I always have to take responsibility, you know, for myself, and say, okay, I trust this person and it's my decision, and that's what's gonna happen. Otherwise, he doesn't allow kids to leave, because it's like I tell, his mantra is fear. It is careful, actually, careful, everything, like he that's his belief system, you know, the fear, it's a good thing to have fear, it protects us. And I don't have the same belief system. What?
I was raised on that as well. Fear and
What?
guilt. Fear and guilt is how I was raised too. So I can empathize with him as well.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
because
maybe
I
if he
see from his
you
mother.
saw your brother with them, if you could maybe have a little more time together with your children and your brother and your husband, and he could see what you see, that maybe
Yeah,
would help.
that's why we are in the process, because part of the fight that I had with my brother, I found out later that it's something to do more with my husband than with me,
Mm, mm,
you know, and I still not talking to my brother.
mm,
So
mm.
that's something that I am like hearing from my stepmother, that there was with my brother, and then from my mother, and now I am trying to solve that, but I'm letting my brother have his time to talk with me, because he needs his to define when is the best moment, because he's moving now, and so I'm just waiting for him. Mm. But yeah, but I think this sometimes the fight that I had with my brother, which like remember maybe a month ago, and we're still not talking. There was a reason for that, because there's stuff that is coming up right now in order to heal, you know, the relationship that with my husband and him, and myself, me and my brother, the feeling that my brother had with me, and so it's all like now. At some point, we're gonna all have the opportunity to talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, whenever something like that happens, you know, in a unconscious way, we've all brought to the surface what we want to heal, right?
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
so, as a family, you brought it to the surface the situation with your brother, and
Mm.
so whenever that happens, you know, the ego would have you condemn yourself for
Mm.
either not being spiritual enough, or not being able to be an adult and have a peaceful relationship with your brother, or
Mhm.
100 other little judgments of the ego, right?
Mhm.
But what's really
Mhm.
happening is that you and your brother have the courage to
Mhm.
go inward and take out some of the poison that's from your past,
Yeah.
and now you've brought it to the surface because you're ready
Mhm.
to begin to heal it.
Yeah.
And so whenever the ego is condemning you for some situation in your family, for not being at peace in your family,
Mhm.
that's just a lie of the ego. You know, the ego tries to put you down for that. But
Mhm.
in reality, you and your brother and your family members had the courage to bring that stuff up. That's the only way that's going to be healed, is to bring it up and find the way to resolve it in a loving fashion. And so
Yeah.
this is a good situation in that sense.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that I had many situations with my brother that, you know, we got into a disagreement, but then you know, he does attack me, you know, and doesn't allow me to talk and keeps like bringing a lot of stuff from the past and like throwing at me. And then on these situations, I oftentimes feel like bad, but then, you know, time goes by and then we start talking again, and I don't touch about that because I know we're gonna bring more problems. But I think this time is different because this time I am not, you know, trying to because I like to solve things like immediately. I don't like to leave things lingering like that. But I am allowing things to linger at this time because I am allowing him to have a lot of time to think about it. And I think now there's a lot of people involved because there's my stepmother, which talked to him, my mother, and even his husband. And everybody is saying to him, no, call your sister, call your sister. And then he said, no, I'm going to call when is the time. So I think that now, maybe for the first time, when he talks to me, he will have to have more control of his emotions because you know, otherwise we're not able to talk, you know, and then it becomes an argument. So I'm giving all this time so he can, when he comes to me, it will be on his time. He needs to be emotionally prepared to talk. And I am ready. I'm ready now for any moment. I'm ready for this talk. You know? So I agree with you. Will be a good thing. Yeah, but I don't like to wait so many days, you know, for this situation. But that's his time. I'm giving him the benefit of talking when he wants. Yeah.
Yeah, and remember, there's two timings.
Mhm.
There's the ego's timing, right?
Mhm.
And then there's the divine timing.
Uh-huh.
Okay. When you trust in the ego's timing, then the ego says, well, you have to resolve the situation in a week or 2 weeks. And if not, then you failed, you know,
Uh-huh.
or you're not spiritual enough, or you're not whatever enough.
Uh-huh.
That's if you're trusting in the ego's timing.
Mhm.
But if you trust in the divine timing, then you know that God is in control. And so there's a sacred pace to all situations in this reality. And so
Mhm.
everything is going to happen in divine timing at the right time, in the right place.
Mhm.
And so when you decide, when the thought comes of, oh my God, it's been a week or 2 weeks or a month or 2 months, and he hasn't called me yet, then and then the ego has you punish yourself for that, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
so whenever that's happening, just remember that's the ego who's in control of your thinking, and
Mhm.
that you're trusting in the ego's plan for your life and plan for everybody instead of God's plan. In God's plan, every moment is perfect and sacred, and so this will be resolved when it's meant to be resolved, and so you don't have to punish yourself for not resolving it at X or Y amount of time.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
don't allow the ego's thinking that says, you're not being spiritual because it's been a month and you guys haven't solved it. You know, that's the ego thinking. That's judgment thinking. That's fear-based thinking.
Yeah.
Doesn't.
It's like,
Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
it's like you say, like if I'm more connected to how I feel than how I think, and if it's bringing me peace, obviously it's not you know, I would like to be, you know, the whole family together, but in a way also, I mean, I'm at peace right now. It's not that I want him to call immediately and the phone rings. It's not like that. I'm not expecting anything right now. I'm at peace, and so I'm trusting that it's his timing, not my timing.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
whenever the ego starts to whisper in your ear and say, you should have solved this by now. It should have been solved. You should be at peace by now. You know, whenever that happens, don't punish yourself for that. Just
Um,
practice recognizing when the ego is speaking. Okay,
um,
when the ego is trying to take control of things,
um,
and then take back control of your mind by making the conscious choice to trust in divine timing. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I have to put them to sleep in a minute, so I have to
Alright.
get off, but I just wanted to say, like, I'm going through a very similar thing with friendships. I tend to be in some toxic relationships quite often, and I'm just trying to establish my boundaries, like with love, I mean, I really appreciate what you're saying. But for me, I've been I've been in such toxic relationships that a lot of times I don't trust myself to know like what's healthy and not healthy in a relationship. So I decided that I think I'm going to work out writing out what my boundaries are in terms of my relationships with friends. I mean, I have a husband that I've been with for 50 years. And but thank God. But I find friendships challenging. I think I come off as like very maternal and very nurturing. And then when I can't meet their expectations, they get angry at me. And then I get upset because, I feel like, wow, how could you be angry at me? It's so good to you. Like I set myself up as a victim. Like it's like interesting, the whole game that I think I'm playing with myself. I'll attract these people that need me and then I disappoint them. And it's like my whole maternal like life, like right before my eyes kind of thing. It's like, oh, okay, they disapprove of me just like mommy did. And I get to play this game. But I'm really tired of the game. I mean, I'm 74 years young and, you know, I mean, I have so much in my life to be grateful for. And I want to just focus on spirituality and health, and that's my goal. And so, but I want to do it with love. I need to learn to not abandon, but to leave toxic relationships in a loving way that doesn't make me feel bad or sucked into the drama of it, like the excitement of drama. So that's what I'm working on now. It's not easy. I'm not gonna say it's easy because changes are hard for me, but you're helping me and a lot of other, I'm using a lot of other tools. So I'm sorry I took up a lot of time, but I want to put them to bed in a minute. But thank you so much. I get so much out of your readings and your book and your your talks, your videos. So I just want to express my gratitude. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you too. And congratulations on 50 years. Wow, that's a big
Yeah.
deal.
It's really a miracle, let me tell you.
It's a beautiful miracle. But one thing that I wanted to say is that you can say no in a loving fashion. Like if you go into your heart and your heart is asking you to say no, and that comes from a place of peace, then it's perfectly okay for you to say no, and it's a act of love, not only for them but for yourself. And if it's an act of love for yourself, we're all one, right? We're all one. So if it's an act of love for yourself, it's going to be loving for them too. It's going to be what's best for them too. So there's no need to have any kind of guilt over having loving boundaries for yourself, because you just become an example for others that they too can achieve loving boundaries and they too can say yes or no in a loving way. The ego would say, no, you always have to say yes. You always have to say yes, or else you're You're not deserving of that love. No, that's not true. The ego, whatever the ego says, is not true. You go within and you act from a place of peace and love. And if you're from a place of peace and love, the answer is no, then the answer is no. There's nothing wrong with that.
But what if you have conflicting thoughts? I don't know about emotions exactly, but might be emotions also.
Yeah, just if you have conflicting thoughts, you know what? Don't decide. What you do is you step back, okay? Step back, humble yourself, invite God in, ask God to come in, and then ask God to decide for you. Okay? Say, God, can you please decide for me because I'm having doubts about this. You decide for me, and because you're perfect love, I'm just going to follow, and I'm going to know that whatever you decide is perfect for me and perfect for all those around me. And so, in that way, there is no more doubt because God is deciding for you. Perfect love is deciding for you. And all you have to do is follow what perfect love says and trust that you're hearing God because you're his child in creation. And so you can communicate with God with love and just ask, love, what would you do right now? Love, what would you think, say, and do right now? And then think, say, and do only that. And when you do so, the path to peace becomes a lot smoother. So just practice whenever in doubt, just bringing God in. Okay, I'm feeling doubt. You know what? This is a perfect time for me to bring God in. And I can bring God in because I'm worthy of his presence. You're muted.
Can you give me an example of that? Like here, I have a friend. A lot of times she insults me or says things that are not nice. I understand she's sick and suffering, but do I need to have her in my home for like 20, like she wanted to come for like 28, 30 hours or something, sleep over, spend the day, 2 days with me, whatever. But she's difficult. My husband doesn't, she's difficult. Everybody sees it. So can you tell me, how would you like tell her? I don't know how to, I don't like to hurt people, but on the other hand, I have to think about myself and my husband and my grandchildren live with us and my daughter lives with us. And, it affects everybody.
Yeah, you just tell her, first you tell her that you love her. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that at the moment, you can't have her over the house.
Mm-hmm. I'm writing here.
Yeah, because you don't want her to feel like you're rejecting her, right? So the first thing you always tell her is the truth. Listen, I love you. Okay, I love you, but at this moment I can't have you here because I'm too busy with my husband and my kids or the grandkids or whatever it is that's going on.
Oh, but I'll help you. I'm good with the children. I read to them. I really want to come. I need it. My back hurts. I need help. That's what goes on.
Well, that's when you go within and you say to yourself, what would be the most loving thing to do for myself? And how can I set these loving boundaries for myself? And then you say no with love. It's okay to say no. If that's what brings you peace in that moment, the most peace in the moment, if that's what God is recommending you to do, say, listen, God is saying to myself, like God is saying to me, it's okay for me to have self-loving boundaries. It's okay for me to say no with love. And then when I say no with love, I have peace. And so maybe it's a perfect practice for you to start that process of putting boundaries, loving boundaries around you. So and then when you know that, guess what? Your friend is just offering you an opportunity to practice you having what you want. You want self-loving boundaries where you can say no and still have peace. And so that's what your friend is helping you do. Right? So thank you, friend. Thank you for helping me practice.
Custom made from God, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you so much. I have to say goodnight. I'm sorry.
All right, take care. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
All right,
Sending you lots of love and blessings. Thank
all
you.
right, thank you.
Bye. Hello.
Shalom.
Shalom. All right. Any comments, Jennifer?
Well, that self-loving boundaries are like such a key. Like we're so trained to want to please people, and I see one of your posts actually really on loving boundaries. It was like saying no in a loving manner. Like I've used this a lot. It's like it's hard to come up with the words in the situation to say no. So sometimes I'll be like, I need to get back to you, and then that gives me the time to figure out what do I really think, what would bring me peace. Where in the situation, my wanting to please other people or the different dynamics that are part of a conversation that make it hard to say no, that's been a very helpful tool to be like, to put that pause in there, like, okay, can I get back to you on that? And then that gives me the time to be centered in myself and come up with that decision. So that's a great post of the daily inspiration post.
Yeah, and that's a key point there that you mentioned, is that you don't have to answer right away. You can say, let me get back to you on that, and then you can take a little time to think about it, and then decide. So yeah, it's very useful to be able to say, let me let me get back to you on that.
Yeah.
Renata, any comments in regards to self-loving boundaries?
No, I agree with everything you said for now. And I think, again, part of the conversation that I'll have with my brother that I heard is that he thinks that he's saying yes to me when he wants to say no, and he feels resentful. And I mean, and I also have situations that I feel that I wanted to act differently, but I don't with him because I don't want to create any conflict. So like so everything now at some point will come into surface, in order to heal. It's interesting because hearing my mother interpreting the way he feels, and I feel, oh my God, like things that we do that it hurts people and you have no idea. The fact that I receive a lot of events, and things to do, and my brother loves to be at home, and I'm the other way around. I love to be out and going to different places all the time, and I keep receiving these events and I keep sending to him, and he feels that I am pushing him to go to places, and he feels pressure, so it offends him, and I had no idea that this is offending him. I think, oh, if it was for me, I'll be happy that people send me stuff to do. So I might need to reevaluate some of the things that hurt him, and I had no intention, to hurt him, but I think these things happens all the time. So it might change a little bit after this conversation.
Yeah, I mean, you're sending those invitations from a place of love, right?
Exactly, but he interpreted on with bad intention. He thinks I am like doing this because I want him to come with me to places, and it's like he judged me bad. I feel he a lot of times he says, I really know your intentions, he says. And I said, really? What are my intentions? I don't know. I don't mean bad to you. So I think it'll be a good conversation to have. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you act from a place of love, so that's your job, to act from that place of love. And then if he's having those feelings, then it's okay to talk to him about it and say, "Oh, I didn't know that you were
Yeah.
feeling that way. You know what? I'll send you maybe 10% of what I used to send you."
Oh, yeah, well, not even fun anymore. So that's why I think so. In a way, it would change a little bit our relationship because I like to be with family all the time, and I like, and everybody says that about me. When it comes to relax, and I create a lot of things to do. Nobody relaxes, but okay, but people like also. But my brother, no, he doesn't like.
Yeah, and usually that's a little also kind of like a man woman thing. From
Yeah.
from a lot of my friends, that women love to do a bunch of things and guys just want to relax at home.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay.
And
Maybe
I see
that's
that
it.
in so many couples, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have any experience with that?
Yeah. Totally. Oh, yeah, but it's interesting that how people interpret, even like you said, even if you come from a place of love, and there's still a lot of misunderstanding of your intentions, and I might do the same also, yeah, to some people. Who knows? Mm.
Yeah, we can't worry about how the Course of Miracles says your job is the miracle.
Mhm.
The miracle's extension is somebody else's job. You know,
Uh,
so your job is just to be at peace and to be loving and to act in the most loving way that you know how. And then people will respond to that whichever way they respond to it. You
mm,
know,
mm,
and then like you just did, like if you learn that that's not what your brother wants, then you know what? Don't send them more invites. You know, or send
yeah,
or do whatever brings you peace. But
yeah,
he doesn't guys are a little bit, you know, they're more homebodies usually.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So
Mm,
it's not that he doesn't appreciate. I think he does appreciate you sending him those invitations, because I think deep down inside, the truth in him
mhm,
knows that you're doing that because you love him and you
mhm,
want him to be part of the family and all that stuff. The
mhm,
truth in him knows that. Okay, it's just that the ego is currently in control of his response mechanism, and then he responds in a sort of like judgmental way. But what you want to recognize is that when he responds in a less than loving way, that's not truly him responding.
mhm,
It's the ego's responding for him. The truth in him is only love.
mhm,
So the only way that he can respond to you, and he is responding to you in a spiritual sense, is
mhm,
is love. Is saying his truth is saying to you, as silent as that may be, "Oh, thank you very much for including me. Thank you,
mhm,
because I know this is a form of love that you're offering me."
mhm.
So that's what the truth in him is saying. It's just that currently, you know, there's something blocking that. And that's the ego's past programming and
Yeah,
mindset. And so
I think,
yeah,
yeah, I think he judges himself because this last conversation that we had, he said, because you call my mom and you tell me that I'm an old man, that I don't like to go out. And I said, I never said that. I never said that. And then my mother said, I actually said that to him. I said, oh, okay, so it's you, but he's judging me for this. But so he feels that if he doesn't correspond to my invitation, I'm gonna think badly, but it's him judging himself. I think that's what's going on. And then he creates all this like that it was me judging, but it's not, it's him judging himself.
Yeah, and remember that he can, in truth, there's the truth, and then there's a dream, right?
Yeah.
The truth in him appreciates your efforts.
Mhm.
The dream in him is judging himself or you. And so
Mhm.
the truth in him being love cannot judge you, and the truth in him cannot judge himself. It's
Mhm.
only the ego mindset, his past programming, that is in control of his mind and thinking, and therefore responding in a manner that's less than loving in nature. And so
Mhm.
we don't want to judge those people who act in a way that's less than loving in nature, because that's not really them doing that.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Any comments,
Yeah.
Jennifer?
Uh, no, I relate to what you're going through. It's hard. And also to remember, hey, he's seeing the world through his filter and his projection. So you're being love and he's, you're just loving light in him and he's may not be at that point yet. So he doesn't see, he's not capable
Yeah.
of seeing it. He might not be at the same frequency as you. So he may not be able to, he sees it through his lens possibly, and his lens is a different lens than yours. So like maybe
This
don't
is
take
what
it personally, it's he's coming
it,
from his where he's at and you're coming from where you're at. You sound like you're acting with love and integrity, and that's like the best you can do. Like you can just only be the best you, and it sounds like you are being loving and present and patient and graceful and is this the same brother that your husband was concerned about you having the kids? So there might be more to that too, where your husband is your protector in some ways, and he sees, well, he might see you. He doesn't think your brother is treating you with the respect or playing some emotional games
yeah,
that he might not want the children to be exposed to. So
yeah,
that
yeah, because I
you have
think
to
my
figure.
husband, yeah, I think a little bit it's true because I see my husband see that I'm very giving to my brother, and my brother, when he has the opportunity, he's not the same way. And so it could be that, and even my whole family sees also that I am like more giving than my brother is. But the interesting thing is that he's married to this man, which is the same as me. So
Mm.
giving, so giving. And I would say that my husband is not so giving also. So I think there's always one in the relationship that is more, So I like his husband can totally understand me. My brother doesn't understand me the same way because he, like you said, he's seeing from his lenses. And obviously I feel a little upset because I give him so much, and then when he has the opportunity to give me, he doesn't. But I don't know, I have to think that I'm gonna receive from other sources, not from him. So
And maybe one day you're just planting seeds, you never know. In like 5 years, all those seeds could blossom into like an unbelievably fruitful
uh,
experience with.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah,
And,
it's true.
and have you told him this? Like, have you told him that, I feel like I give a lot to you and that you don't give when you can to me, that kind of thing? Have you talked to him about that?
Like I said, I don't even have the opportunity because he always get so angry, and so defensive that we don't have an opportunity to talk in a calm manner. Even the last time that we talked, I was saying to him, "I love you, so please calm down. Let's resolve this little thing because if you don't resolve this, it will become into a bigger thing, and then it'll be more difficult for us to solve it." And it didn't help because he was saying it's not a good time for me right now, and now I'm loaded. He said, "I'm loaded against you right now," he said.
Mm.
And he was loaded because he was like getting a lot of things from the past, and because remember that day you did this, and I don't have an opportunity to talk. And then I get to a point that said, "Sorry, I have to hang up because you're too heavy for me." And that's how we finished the last time we talked. And so now, obviously, what I know, because I talked to my family that talked to him, that he spent like 3 days without sleeping, with body pain. You know, he knows that it was not the right thing to do. So that's now I'm allowing him to have a lot of time. So when, you know, he comes, at least he needs to be emotionally prepared, because otherwise if he keeps like talking with me the same way that he talked, like shouting and all these things, I'm gonna tell him the same thing. Sorry, I'm gonna hang up. I don't like to do that, but I'll have to do now, because you know he's already like 48 years old. Like when we were kids, my father always told me, "Ah, you are yeah older." So I always had to give to my brother always, because I was older. So all these things, this behavior, I say, "Oh, okay, he doesn't know better. I know better, so let me accept." But now I say, I just had this realization of the day. I said, he's 48 years old and I'm still doing this to him. No, he has to grow up, you know? So,
Yeah, your job is to go ahead and put those self-loving boundaries. You know, your job is to keep reinforcing your peaceful nature and do what brings you peace. And if you need to say no, you say it with peace, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, and your heart will guide you into what to do and what to say.
mhm,
And like we said before, if doubt comes in, just invite God in and ask God
mhm,
what to think, say, and do, and then do only what God would think, say, and do.
mhm,
You know,
mhm,
and know that as conflicted as he may be internally, his journey is perfect for him. You know,
mhm.
he's gonna process and heal his situation. I'm sure it's not easy to be a gay Brazilian. You know,
Yeah. No,
so
my
I'm
father,
sure
yeah, my father, like that macho man, you know, that
yeah,
doesn't, that now things are getting better,
yeah,
but he had a lot of trauma about that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm sure he
Yeah.
did. Yeah, a gay South American man is not easy.
Not easy, not
Yeah,
easy.
so I'm sure he's got a lot of trauma and stuff, and probably they bullied him because of all that
Yeah,
stuff, and so
yeah.
he co-designed his journey with God, and so whatever his journey is, he's gonna process it at his own sacred time and place. And so just keep him in your heart and in your mind, and keep sending love to him whenever the thought of him comes to your mind. Just think loving thoughts and ask God or Jesus to take care of him and to guide him and to bring him clarity and healing. And
Mhm.
little by little, he'll shift. He'll shift.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I feel that I have a private session. I only talk about my problems here. Thank you so
Right.
much. It was not my intention, but I know it helps everybody when we talk.
Yeah, exactly. Because we're all one, right? So
Yeah, yeah,
whatever it is that you're bringing up is something for all of us to take note of, because there's
right, right.
something in that is useful for us too.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
So
all have relationships in our life like that. So you're helping to like bring it out so that we can like process it. So
yeah,
Uh-huh.
I think it's a gift. Thank you for sharing what you share.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You see what's going on here, right? The nanny didn't come, so but thank God I was able to participate, and I'm glad. Thank you very, very much.
Did you ever try writing to him to like get your thoughts out? I wonder if maybe switching a different form of communication might could maybe get easier because you can process what you want and then maybe he could process it. So it's something to consider like switching if talking on the phone doesn't
Yeah,
work, maybe there's another way.
yeah, it could be. Yeah, yeah. I didn't. I wrote a letter for him like once that I think he keeps. He still keeps it. That's when I was the first person that found out he was gay, and it was like very hard for him because obviously, you know, he didn't want to be gay, right? And and I started reading about books about gays and all these things. I started getting into this world, and I was actually the first one that brought my mother on board about this, and then my father on board about this, and now my father it's very like advanced a lot on this matter. And so yeah, so it's something that my brother is cancer, so it's like so much feelings, like at the same time he's very judgmental, but he's like very sensitive. And I think that yeah, it could be something that if I write, at least it doesn't he can read at his time, right? And you can also there is no anger involved when you're writing. Well, it's a good idea. It's just that I don't have so much time now to. I think I'd rather talk with him when it's the time. Let's see. Let's see how it goes. But anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate the two of you. Amazing. Thank you.
All right.
Thank
you
you.
very
You're
much.
awesome.
And God willing, we'll see each other. Well, we'll see each other
Tomorrow,
tomorrow, yeah, tomorrow in Zoom. If you,
tomorrow unit.
yeah,
Okay, I'll try to be there tomorrow.
I'll be in Zoom though, in the Zoom.
Yes, okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good
Appreciate
night.
it.
Thank
Good night.
you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.